On Halloween night, the Anderson family had just moved into a centuries-old house on the outskirts of town. They were excited about their new home, with its beautiful antique furniture and grand fireplace. The house had been vacant for years, and the Andersons were thrilled to start fresh in such an old, mysterious place. Their daughter, Lily, a curious 10-year-old, loved exploring the house. One evening, as she was wandering through the attic, she came across a dusty old chest hidden in the corner. Inside the chest was an old porcelain doll. The doll was beautiful but eerie, with large, glassy eyes that seemed to follow her every movement. Its painted lips were slightly curled into a strange smile. Lily was captivated by the doll and decided to bring it down to her room. That night, as she lay in bed, she could feel something was off. The room felt colder than usual, and she kept hearing faint noises, like whispers just beyond her hearing. At first, she thought it was just the wind, but the whispers sounded too close. The next morning, Lily told her parents about the doll and the strange noises. They laughed it off, assuming she was just imagining things. But as days passed, the whispers grew louder. Lily would often wake up in the middle of the night to find the doll sitting upright on her bed, even though she had left it on the shelf before going to sleep. One Halloween evening, after a long day of trick-or-treating, Lily went to bed exhausted. As she lay under the covers, she heard the whispers again, clearer this time. She turned toward the shelf, but the doll was no longer there. The room was silent for a moment, and then she heard something, soft footsteps moving across the room. Suddenly, the doll appeared at the foot of her bed, staring at her with its wide eyes. The whispers turned into low, unintelligible mutterings, as if the doll were speaking to her in a language she couldn't understand. Terrified, Lily screamed for her parents, but when they rushed to her room, the doll was gone. The room was completely silent, and there was no sign of the porcelain doll anywhere. They searched the house but couldn't find it. In the days that followed, Lily would occasionally catch a glimpse of the doll in the corner of her eye, always just out of reach. It would disappear as soon as she looked directly at it. The whispers continued, but no one else could hear them. On Halloween night, as the Andersons were carving pumpkins, Lily went into her room to find the doll once more sitting on her bed, its glassy eyes locked onto hers. She turned to run, but as she did, she heard the whispers once again, louder than ever, filling the entire house. The doll was waiting for her, always just around the corner, whispering her name. The Andersons eventually moved out of the house, but the doll was never found. Some say it still waits for the next curious child to come across it, ready to whisper secrets that are better left unheard. Emma's 6th birthday was celebrated in her grandmother's old house, deep in the countryside. Among the gifts, one stood out, a doll with porcelain skin, jet black hair, and a crimson dress. Her grandmother claimed it had been in the family for generations and was special. Emma adored the doll at first, naming it Clara. But within days, her parents noticed her demeanor changing. Emma started speaking to Clara as if she were a real person and insisted Clara didn't like being left alone. One night, Emma's mother heard laughter coming from Emma's room. When she peeked inside, Emma was asleep, but the doll was sitting upright on the windowsill, facing the forest. Thinking nothing of it, she placed Clara back on the shelf. The next morning, Emma claimed Clara had gone outside during the night to talk to the shadows. Her parents dismissed it as a child's imagination, until they started hearing faint giggles and footsteps in the hallways after midnight. One stormy evening, the power went out. Emma's father went to check the breaker box in the basement and never returned. When Emma's mother went looking for him, she found the basement door locked and Clara sitting at the top of the stairs, her porcelain face cracked into what looked like a sinister grin. Emma's mother fled the house with Emma that night. Authorities found no trace of her husband. The only thing left in the house was the doll, sitting by the basement door, waiting. Years later, Emma returned to the house as an adult. Clara was still there, her crimson dress as vibrant as ever. But now, her cracked porcelain face looked eerily like Emma's father.